welcome to Larissa Ranks Things. My name is Larissa and today we're gonna rank bad teen movies on Netflix. So recently my cousin visited and we really like watching bad movies together. So we looked up some of the worst like teen movies and picked 10 of them. And so today I'm gonna be ranking those 10 that we picked out. So when we were watching, we were grading them by like a rubric kind of. And so we were grading them based on plot, writing, cinematography, character development, character likability, ridiculousness, realism, and overall enjoyment. And so based on those 8 categories, we gave them a score out of 100. And so the ranking today is gonna be ranking all those movies by the score that they got. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. These are some of the worst movies that I've ever seen. So that's awesome, and I'm really excited to talk about them. There definitely will be spoilers. I'm gonna like kind of talk about the plot of like every movie, and yeah, so I'm definitely gonna give away like everything. But yeah, so if you don't want spoilers, this is a warning. But also these movies suck, so like I don't think it's gonna matter. But yeah, let's get ranking. I'm really excited. Let's do it. Okay, so let's get into it. Like I said, ranking the 10 worst teen movies on Netflix. Okay, so in 10th place is SPF 18. This movie, when I tell you this movie was the worst thing I've ever seen, I mean it. This was not even a film. This was like an hour and 15 minutes of absolutely nothingness. Like when I was watching it, it felt like I was watching someone's like first student film, and they didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't know how to write dialogue or plot or like how to write a movie. And that's like what this movie was. Basically the premise of it is that there's Noah Centineo and his dad died in a surfing accident, and then his dad's friend was Keanu Reeves. So when I say Noah Centineo, I mean Noah Centineo's character, but when I say Keanu Reeves, I mean Keanu Reeves. So Noah Centineo's dead dad was friends with, like, actually the actor Keanu Reeves. And so Keanu was like, oh, Noah Centineo, I am gonna be shooting a film and I need you to house sit for me. So then Noah Centineo is house sitting for Keanu Reeves, and he has this like gigantic like house right on the ocean in Malibu or something. And so Noah Centineo is like, oh my god, I have this sick house to myself, let me invite my friends. So he invites his girlfriend to the house, and then the girlfriend is being visited by her cousin. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna bring my cousin. So then the girlfriend and the cousin go to Keanu Reeves' house. And then they're just like there. I don't know what was going on. They were just at the house. And then they go to the beach and they find this dude who was just like in a tent on the beach. And he was getting written up by some lifeguard because he was like squatting on the beach. And then the guy who was squatting, it turns out, is like a pop star. Or he's like an up and coming pop star. And he ran away because he needed to find himself, because the label was trying to turn him into something that he wasn't. And so then Noah Centineo was like, dude, if you're homeless right now, you should totally come stay at Keanu Reeves' house with us. So they invite this total stranger to live in Keanu Reeves' house. And then the lifeguard, turned out he was being taught, his trainer in surfing was Noah Centineo's dead dad. And he like ruined his career because he was taking steroids or something, and so Noah Centineo was mad at him. But then they like made up, and like he got to hang out at the house too. And so it's just these 5 people, and they're just like hanging out at Keanu Reeves' house, and nothing is happening. And it's literally just them like hanging out, and then like filming a music video for the pop star, because they're like, oh, we need to let the people see the real you, and then he gets like freed from his contract or something. I don't know, it's very unclear. And that's the movie. In 9th place is Swiped. I hate this movie. I hate it. Like, SPF 18 wasn't a movie, but like it didn't make me angry. It was just like, what am I watching? This movie made me furious. So it's about like these college boys, and like there's Noah Centineo and this other guy who might be named Max, and they're roommates, right? And Max is like a nerd, he's a coder, and then Noah Centineo is like this like player who's like, oh my god, I'm so cool and I get all the girls, but I don't want to date them because I can't be tied down. And so he's like, oh my god, we should make a dating app where like you're not even allowed to know each other's name, and it's like anonymous, and like there's rules, and like we're gonna get all the boys to be on this app so that like all the girls have to be, or else they won't date anyone. And so Max codes the app, and then like that's the whole first act of the movie, is them making the app. And then the second act, nothing happens. It's literally just winter break and like nothing's going on. And then in the third act, Max is like, oh my god, the girl I have a crush on is being hurt by this app and she doesn't like it, and I don't want her to find out that I made it because I want her to like me. I need to shut the app down. And so then it's like he shuts the app down, and then like Noah Centineo is mad at him, and that's the movie. So that's the plot. I hate every single man in this movie, like the sexism and just like every single man in this movie is disgusting, and I hate them. This movie just sucks. I hate it. I hate it. God. In 8th place is The Kissing Booth 2. So I don't even know what to say about this movie. It didn't need to be made. There's no reason for this movie to exist, if I'm being honest. The plot, so like, it's Kissing Booth 2. We have Joey King, and then Noah, who is Jacob Elordi, and then the other brother. What is his name? Like, Lee. His name is Lee. So, Jacob Elordi is at college. He goes to Harvard University, which is fake. He doesn't go to Harvard. Are you kidding me? But whatever, it's the movies. So Jacob Elordi is at Harvard, and Joey King is like, oh my god, I promised Lee when I was 9 that we would both go to Berkeley together, but I kind of want to be with my boyfriend in Harvard. I don't know what to do. And then she's like, oh my god, I don't have any college money to go to Harvard. So she's like, I have to enter this dance competition so that I can win $50,000 because that will mean I can go to Harvard. And so most of the plot is like her being like, oh my god, Jacob Elordi is cheating on me at Harvard. And then the other part of the plot is like, oh my god, I need to win this literal Dance Dance Revolution dance contest. Huh? That's so like, oh my god, a Dance Dance Revolution dance contest for $50,000. In what world does that exist? And she's just wins it. And so that's basically the plot, but it's really weird. Like, why is the main plot winning this like fake video game dance competition? That doesn't make sense to me. This was not a very exciting or engaging movie. I didn't really like it. In 7th place is Riptide. So this gets a score of 33. Good old Debbie Ryan. I can't even look at this movie poster without laughing. Anyways, this movie was so boring. So basically Debbie Ryan is she's a model, and then there was this instance in the beginning of the movie where she was trying on a dress for a fashion designer, and she was like, oh, I think the dress could be improved by like, oh my god, there's a bug. I'm gonna ignore it for now. And she was like, this dress could be improved if like it was like this. And then she started changing the dress, and she like ripped the sleeves off the dress and like redid her makeup and was like, now it's good. And the designer was like, are you joking? You're the model, not the designer. And so then she runs away and cries. And so then that's like is a whole big thing in her career, and people are like, oh my god, did you hear about this? And so she is like sad. And so her aunt lives in Australia, and so she goes to Australia and is like, I need to get away. And so she goes to Australia, and then she learns how to surf and is like, I'm a new person. And then she's like, I want to be a fashion designer. So she designs a bunch of like swimsuits for like this festival in the Australian town, and then is like, I'm gonna be a fashion designer. And then her mom comes and is like, I support you. And then that's the whole movie. It was so boring. Like, this movie had no point. Like, I'm sorry, I don't care about Debbie Ryan being a model who wants to be a fashion designer. I don't care about it. Also, she's a model and wants to be a fashion designer, and every single one of her outfits was god awful. Awful. Yeah. In sixth place is Outcast with a score of 33.25. This movie was so annoying. Like, I literally did not like a single one of the characters. I think they were all annoying. The plot was like it was Victoria Justice and some other girl named Mindy, and they're BFFs, but they're like nerds, and so they're like, the popular kids bully me and I'm gonna take a stand for myself. So they're like, can you stop being mean to me? And then the popular kids are like, bruh, I can't believe you just said that. And so then it like kind of becomes like a war. And so Mindy and Victoria Justice gather all of the other like outcasts in the school and are like, let's just like become BFFs and then take down the popular kids. And so that's what they try to do. But it was just like, this plot is like so tired to me. Like, if it's not Mean Girls, I don't want to see losers trying to take down the popular kids. Like, I don't care. I don't really want to see it. So I didn't really like the plot. The writing was awful. Like, whoever wrote this has never like talked to a high schooler or been to high school. One of the girls literally lived in a castle, like an actual castle. What is with that? Also, I think that Mindy gets into like an Ivy League school, which I just don't like. Like, I don't like it when movies, they always send the kids to an Ivy League. That's not gonna happen. I don't know. I just like, it's every movie. Why does every movie have to have a kid that goes to like Harvard or something? But anyways, yeah. And then the acting was awful. So this movie just kind of sucked. I really didn't like it. I never want to watch this ever again. In fifth place is Mean Girls 2 with a score of 39. Honestly, I hate this movie, but here it is in fifth place. So basically the plot is like, oh, Jo is a new girl at school and she's not like other girls. She rides a motorcycle and doesn't like being friends with girls, and she doesn't like pink, and she is into architecture and wood shop. And so she's awesome for some reason. I can't stand her. And so she goes to school, and then Harper from Wizards of Waverly Place is like the loser, and Mandy, the main girl, the main mean girl, she bullies Harper from Wizards of Waverly Place. And then Harper doesn't have any friends, so her dad pays Jo and is like, will you be my daughter's friend, please? And so Jo does it so that she can pay for college. And so then Jo is like, okay, Harper, I don't want you to be sad and picked on. So they're like, we're gonna start our own group called the Anti-Plastics, because the mean girls are the plastics. And then they're like, we're gonna take down Mandy because she's mean. And so then they become like their own like version of popular, and they're trying to take down Mandy. And then like it's just like them fighting each other, and then Mandy tries to get she gets Jo expelled by framing her for stealing like homecoming money. And then Jo is like, I'm tired of you. We have to play flag football to settle who is like the winner or something of popularity. I don't know why they played flag football, to be honest. It was like, yeah, I don't know. And so they play flag football, and then Jo's team wins, and then Mandy, it turns out like she gets found out for framing Jo for stealing the homecoming money, and then Mandy like gets arrested or something, I don't know, and then Jo is reinstated into school. And that is the plot of Mean Girls 2. And so I really dislike this movie. I really hate how like I'm not like other girls it is. I think that is really annoying, and I hate to see it. Like, why can't girls just be like other girls? That's fine. That's awesome. So this movie makes me kind of really angry, so would not recommend watching this. In fourth place is The Kissing Booth. Honestly, so it has a score of 41.25. I don't mind this movie. I don't have anything bad to say about The Kissing Booth. It's not a good movie. It's really cheesy, and it's objectively not very good. However, it is what it is. I have a soft spot for awful, just horrible teen movies, and I think this is fine. Like, I have no problem with it. In third place is Sierra Burgess is Loser with a score of 53.75. This movie I do have a problem with. It is the first to break 50% out of 100 in score, but this movie makes me so grossed out. The reason it's kind of high is because the acting is like pretty decent comparatively to like all the other movies we watched, and then also it's visually nice to look at. But the plot of this movie is horrifying. So Sierra Burgess is the loser, and she is a band person, and she's like really smart and likes poetry and stuff. And so then there's this other girl who might be named Madison. It's unclear to me. I don't really remember. I don't think her name is Veronica, but she looks like Maddie Ziegler, which is why I get confused. So Veronica is a cheerleader, and she's out at a diner, and she sees Noah Centineo, and Noah Centineo comes over and is like, hey, I think you're really cute. Can I get your number? And so Veronica is like, ew, he's a loser. I'm gonna give him Sierra's number. So he starts texting Sierra thinking it's Veronica, and Sierra is like, oh my god, he's so cute, I'm not gonna tell him. So she is just having a fake relationship with him over text and like calling him and stuff, and they're like into each other, but he doesn't know that she's not Veronica. And so then they go on a date. So she and Veronica end up becoming friends because Sierra tutors Veronica. And so then they end up becoming besties, and then Veronica's like, okay, like, let's make this work. I'll go on the date with Noah Centineo. And then there's this part where they're on the date, and Sierra's like under his Jeep listening to them talking to each other, and then he's like, I want to kiss you, to Veronica, and Veronica's like, okay, hold on. And so she covers his eyes. Sierra comes out from under the Jeep and then kisses him, and that is so horrible. Like, I feel like secondhand violated from that scene. Like, that's so not okay. I hate it. But anyways, so then, yeah, he's falling in love with Sierra but thinks it's Veronica. And then there's like this big thing, and like he finds out that it's Sierra, and then he's like mad at her, but then she writes a song, and then it becomes okay. And then he's like, I think you're beautiful and I really like you. And then they live happily ever after. In what world? Like, the message of this movie is just like so horrible. And I don't think that it should be saying that catfishing is okay and that it will end well. So yeah, this plot makes me feel really uncomfortable, and I don't like it at all. In second place is Alex Strangelove. Score of 63.75. This movie was like pretty mediocre compared to the others. I guess it was really good. I don't really remember much about it. It doesn't stand out. This was the first movie that we watched. I don't really remember liking it, but I didn't hate it, so that's why it's in second place. It had some funny moments. So the plot is like this guy Alex, and he has his girlfriend, and then they go to a party, and he meets this other guy who's in the picture, and I don't remember his name. Maybe his name is like, what does he look like? Maybe he's like a Jesse. His name is not Jesse, but he looks like a Jesse to me, so that's what I'm gonna call him. So he meets Jesse at a party and is like, oh my god, hey. And so Jesse is gay, and he's like, hey, let me get your number. And so then Jesse invites him to a concert, and Alex is like, oh my god, I think I have like a man crush on this guy. And then he's like, oh my god, am I gay? And so it's like Alex trying to figure out whether he's like gay or not. And then that's like the plot basically. And yeah, so it was like fine. I wouldn't watch it again. Like, it didn't like make me like it, but it was like decent, I guess. And in first place is Candy Jar. I actually really like this one. So this has a score of 72. And so basically the premise of the movie is that there's two kids on the debate team, right? There's Lona and there's Bennett. And they don't like each other because their mothers have like a long feud from like high school where they kind of hate each other. And so they've like never gotten along. They always disagree on everything, right? So they're both on the debate team, and Bennett wants to go to Yale, ? And Lona wants to go to Harvard. It might be the opposite, I don't remember. And so they both get rejected from their Ivy Leagues, which is awesome. I love to see it. Like, I'm sorry for them, but like, in all the movies you get accepted. So this was a fun, refreshing thing for them to get rejected. So they both get rejected and they're like, we need to beef up our resumes. And so they enter this paired debate tournament, and they don't usually work together because they always disagree. So then they have to like start training together and like preparing their case. And so then they end up realizing that they like each other. And then they like fall in love and stuff. And then the competition goes down, and then they each get into the opposite school. So like Lona got into Yale, and then Bennett got into Harvard. And it was like, oh my God, we did a little switcheroo. And yeah, so that was basically the movie. It was just them like preparing for the debate competition and falling in love. But like, I loved it. As like a former debater, I was on the debate team in high school. And so I just like love seeing debate representation. I think that was so fun to like watch them debate and like see how it's different than the way my school did debate. So from that perspective, there's a bug. I really enjoyed the movie, and I honestly was not annoyed with either of these main characters. I thought they were both awesome, and I was rooting for them, and that is very rare in the 10 movies that we watched. I usually hate all the main characters. So this was really refreshing, and it was really like pretty, like the filming, it was very like symmetrical in the way it was like shot, and the score was good, the music, and yeah, it was just like a good time. So I thoroughly enjoyed Candy Jar, and I would recommend it out of all of these movies. So yeah, those are some of the 10 worst movies on Netflix. I don't know why Candy Jar was on there, because I didn't think it was bad, but I guess I can see where they're coming from. Actually, I can't. I liked it. So yeah, out of all those movies, I really wouldn't recommend any of them except Candy Jar. I'll give Kissing Booth an honorable mention just because like I think it's whatever. Like, yes, it's a horrible movie, it's garbage, but like it's palatable. Like, I think out of all of those, that is the most rewatchable one of all the movies that sucked. So that's exciting, and yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Comment down below if you've seen any of these movies and which one you think is the worst in your opinion. And if you have any suggestions on things you would like me to rank, comment that too, and I'll consider it. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.